for the Spurs. One win from the Western Conference Finals.
Mercy beaucoup, my friend.
Now, Victor Wembanyama just continues to do ridiculous things and do them at an incredibly young age. Last night, he became the third youngest player in history with a 25, 15, and 5 game into the postseason. You see the greats that are ahead of him. Only Magic Johnson and Luka ever did it younger. Lou Alcindor, of course, played 4 years of college. But we wanted to try and demonstrate just how imposing and tall that man is. So, Rampage, as you back up, you can see where that tape measure finally ends. Jay, that's how tall Victor Wembanyama is.
7'5", all right. PJ, 6'4" and 3/4. We'll round up 6'5". Yeah, ish. Fair.
Come on.
6'6".
Yeah.
6'6"? Okay, so that's how much taller he is than Allen and PJ. Let's go one more level.
Okay.
Please put your arms up.
Yeah.
Put your arms up, guys.
Put your arms up.
Arms up.
Yep.
We're gonna keep going here to, there it is. Stay with me. There.
Go ahead, hit it.
Right there.
Close enough. Go. Yep.
Look, you can't even.
This is the wingspan. No
Arms
one
up.
can even reach it.
Arms up. That's the wingspan!
Oh, my God.
That's his wingspan. 9'7" is his wingspan.
So
Look at that.
the top of his hand is pretty much.
That's the rim. The rim is 10 feet.
Yep.
Him standing up, he touches the rim.
How do you shoot over that?
Well, all he has to do is get on his tippy toes.
You can't even get it in the frame.
Yeah.
I look like Kevin Hart with the box.
And Jay is standing on a box
And he's
to
standing
make
on
it
the
clear
box.
where all this is happening. So we just wanted to try and come up with some way of dramatizing just how ridiculously tall Victor Wembanyama is, and you see how skilled he is. And so let's sort of reassemble Avengers into our regular formation
you can
and have
put
a
that away
conversation
now.
I want to have. PJ, there are a lot of people who are saying right now that, San Antonio and Minnesota are just playing for the right to get beat up by OKC in the next round. What do you say to people who would say that?
I think the Spurs are going to win the West.
I'm sorry, will you say that again and louder?
I think the Spurs are going to win the West.
You think the Spurs are going to beat OKC in the next round if they get through this? Alan Hahn, you've been saying that for months.
I've been saying it since the regular season. A, the way they match up with them. B, the way Wemby has wanted it in this matchup. This is a conference finals the NBA needs and wants. It's one you can expect. Now, Minnesota, I think, is helping because I think this series also gets that team ready for a matchup with Oklahoma City. That's why I think this series is very important. They are learning. We just saw it, game 4 to 5. The maturity factor comes in. This is setting up for the Spurs and the Thunder, and the Spurs pulling off an upset that really shouldn't be a big upset.
I still have to go with OKC. I think the Spurs are better during the regular season. I still think, what does Mike Wilbon always talk about? What's the growing pains
You have to have your
go
heart
through?
broken
A
a couple
of times. They haven't had their heart broken yet. First time in the playoffs.
Of course. And OKC did, and then they finally climbed the mountain. Here's the one thing I will say that I think is interesting. How significant is playoff callousing, which is to say, the Thunder, without meaning to disrespect Phoenix and then the Luka-less Lakers, the Thunder haven't been pushed. They haven't been in any way pushed in this postseason. They've had 8 easy games, and they're going to have a very long wait until they get to play their next. The Spurs, to your point, are coming off a real fight here. If they come out of this thing, they will be in playoff mode while the Thunder are sitting and waiting. Is that a factor in any way as one who has been through a lot of these playoff wars?
1,000%. I think that sitting and waiting and not being tested, that measure is really big on my scale. Sometimes with coaches, they try to, Jay, try to amp up practice, do stuff to try to, keep guys up. But to me, that's a bad part of sitting, man.
I would say I'm not sure Mark Daigneault has used all their schemes in the regular season for Wemby. And I will tell you, I'd much rather have the versatility of Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet in the way you play against Wemby than Rudy Gobert.
Okay, let's not jump ahead to that series quite yet, but I did think it was interesting. 2 of the 3 guys we have in here this morning at minimum, give San Antonio a real chance to get through the West and beat OKC. Staying in the NBA, I want to do a sound off because yesterday was the anniversary of the Achilles tear that Jason Tatum suffered. And he had fascinating words with the Today Show host Craig Melvin on the Glass Half Full podcast. Listen to this.
What's one moment that Jason Tatum's still chasing?
I would say winning another championship and holding up Finals MVP.
Can you do it in Boston?
Absolutely.
Okay, now that
I love
was a
this so much.
fascinating-
I love it so much.
Right? I mean, there's no other way to take that.
Very detailed response there.
Well, to make sure we apply the context before I let you go. Jaylen Brown on his Twitch stream recently said and then doubled down on the fact that this past year, a year he played without Tatum and carried that team to a season that was better than most were expecting, was his favorite year. And again, he doubled down on that. And that gives you plausible deniability. Oh, I'm not saying anything about Jason, but it sure sounds like it. And now, boom, circle it back. 2 years after they win the championship and Jaylen Brown was the MVP of the finals, here's Jason Tatum very specifically saying what he's chasing is a title and a finals MVP. Your reaction?
PJ has been in the locker room more recent than I have, but I will tell you, my history of playing basketball, when you typically ask a player what their dreams of success are, they say, I want to win a championship. PJ, have you ever heard a player say, I want to also host up finals MVP?
I was the first. I was surprised by that. I'm not gonna lie. Jason Tatum's one of my favorite players and a friend. And I really don't know what he meant. Obviously, not gonna speak for him, but as a teammate, you come into that locker room early, training camp, all you talk about is winning the championship. I've never heard anybody say they want to win finals MVP.
It's very hard not to take that as a response, right, Alan? There's only
like it.
Very hard not to take it that way.
It also is hard to take it without thinking that is in the back of his mind, that he didn't win the finals MVP, that he didn't win the conference finals MVP. In that run, they went for a championship. So in the back of his mind, it's a team goal and an individual goal because I didn't get that and I still want that. That says a lot right there. But also knowing that you have a teammate that talked about a successful season that didn't end in a championship.
By the way, you can talk about individual goals, but then, like I said before, when JB said that, it opened up the hornet's nest, right? And what happens is you start then going back and reaccounting all the things that, like, oh, JT and Jaylen Brown, they're teammates, they're competitive. There's something not difficult about competitive fire between two teammates, but why hasn't Jason Tatum shown up on Jaylen Brown's Switch? Any of his shows? Like, why aren't they out to dinner together? Yep. There's something that we're now seeing in real time that's been unsaid that is awkward between them.
The reality is having two equal superstars is something that has been very complicated throughout the history of basketball. And the world doesn't view them as co-equal. The world sort of has made that Tatum's team and Brown is also a great player. And I think Jaylen Brown has made it pretty clear. That's not how he views himself. And so he has made that statement, and now here's Jason Tatum saying what he's saying. It doesn't have to mean that they don't like each other. I have no idea what their relationship is. I wouldn't pretend that I do. But I think this is, Jaylen Brown has made it pretty clear. I think I'm ready to be the Batman on any team that I want, and there's Jason Tatum responding without the man in the room itself. This feels like it is headed towards a separation.
Here's an example. When the Warriors won their championships with Kevin Durant, Steph Curry didn't win Finals MVP. Did Steph Curry ever talk about how I want to get another championship and to get that Finals MVP
He didn't even win it the first time. Andre Iguodala was the MVP of their first championship.
Even when we had Kyrie and KD together, it still feel like it was like, oh, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. It didn't feel like it was like that.
Yep.
It's just, something's off.
Something is off. So what does it lead to?
I told you, I think it leads to Giannis going to Boston.
Oh.
Jaylen Brown.
I told you, Jaylen Brown going to Milwaukee.
And the trade of one of the biggest, and what would have to be one of the biggest trades in NBA history.
It'd probably be Jaylen Brown and some picks.
I don't like
for
it.
Giannis.
I don't like it.
All right, we're going to dive into that more as we continue.